I'm Kenneth Elmore. I'm proud to be the Dean of Students at Boston University. I'll say this, I have walked my ass off. That's what makes me sustainable. Walking's been fantastic for my mental health. So for me, I walk a lot around a city, and cities are made to be walked. That's really it. I get a lot of thinking time. So first thing in the morning, I try to get up and walk more for my exercise, and it's a great time for me to just think. The other piece too, I love the serendipity of a city. And it's harder to discover it when you're riding in something, much easier to see serendipity when you're walking. I urge people, go look at my Instagram. You'll see that my Instagram's gotten a lot artsier. The other thing too is I've started to try and eat a lot less meat in my life. I'll tell you why I keep with it. I'm also a very competitive person. So I was able to compete with myself a bit. And I think I would have been disappointed in myself if I didn't stick with what I had started doing. Sustainability is one of those things where I think we have really matured in how we message it, right? At one point, it seemed like a scolding kind of thing that we would all do. And me included, I was one of those folks who you just got to turn the lights off just because. And I think we've developed quite a ways to figure out where people are. So in some cases, people need that philosophy as a way that makes them do something that's going to be important. And for others, they need alternatives because people are going to come from different walks of life where they think about the sustainable things that they do in their lives very differently. You know, the other piece too, there's a whole industry around, I think, sustainable futures. And I want to make sure that from an equity standpoint, there are people in countries and communities that aren't often at tables to be able to be at tables to discuss some of these sorts of possibilities, but also to be able to participate in the economy and the way that this is all done. And what's more, we can learn a lot from communities that we don't think we can learn from. I think about my parents. My parents grew up in rural, fairly poverty-stricken places, and they were on farms, and they could show you a whole lot about sustainability, just given the way they grew up and the way that they learned. And they took a lot of those lessons from their rural farm communities to urban environments like New York City in apartment buildings, and they still live sustainable ways. We are in the business of generating new knowledge. That's what we do. We're in the business of finding solutions and seeking solutions. And so I think that what we've got to do is to engage communities more and sit with communities to find solutions.